Have you ever had a moment, maybe lying in bed, watching TV, or just sitting quietly with your thoughts, when a flicker of desire comes up and you instantly silence it? Not because it's wrong, not because it's even inconvenient, but because somewhere along the way, you were told or made to feel that after a certain age, wanting sex just isn't appropriate anymore. Or worse, that it's something to be ashamed of. Let me tell you something right now, that's a lie. If you're over 65 and you still want intimacy, connection, even sex, you're not broken. You're human. And you're far, far from alone. The truth is, sex doesn't have an expiration date. But society often acts like it does. We're bombarded with images of passion that stop at 40. We're handed pills for everything else that ages, except our desire. And when we do speak up about it, we're met with raised eyebrows, awkward laughs, or silence. So many older adults, especially men, say they still feel the urge, but feel guilty for it. Or confused. Or like it doesn't fit who they're supposed to be now. And women? Even worse. The silence around their sexuality in later life is deafening. But that silence, it doesn't mean the feelings are gone. One woman in her early 70s once told me, "I still feel things, but I don't know who I can talk to about them without feeling foolish." And that broke my heart. Because nothing about that is foolish. It's natural. Beautiful. Alive. Let's be real, the body changes. Hormones shift. Energy fluctuates. But that doesn't erase desire. It transforms it. And just like we adapt our diets, our workouts, and our sleep as we age, we can adapt our understanding of intimacy too. In fact, many seniors report that sex after 65, even if it's less frequent, is more meaningful, more connected. Less about performance, more about presence. Less pressure, more pleasure. But here's where it gets tricky. Many people feel desire, but don't know what to do with it. Maybe your spouse has passed, or isn't interested. Maybe you've been single for years and wonder if it's too late to open that door again. Or maybe you're in a relationship, but things feel different now, emotionally, physically, hormonally, and no one's talking about it. So let's talk. Let's start with this truth. Desire doesn't have to disappear with age, but how we express it might evolve. You might find yourself craving closeness more than climax. Or touch more than intercourse. Maybe a long hug, skin to skin, means more now than a night of passion ever did in your 20s. That's not a downgrade. That's growth. That's your body telling you, hey, I still want connection, but in ways that feel good for who I am now. And if intercourse is still part of your desire, that's okay too. There are ways to make it safe, satisfying, and comfortable. It might mean adjusting positions. Using lubrication. Having honest, awkward, loving conversations with your partner. But again, that's not strange. That's real intimacy. I once had an older couple tell me, we don't make love the same way we used to, but we touch more, we laugh more, and we feel closer than ever. Isn't that the point? Of course, for some, the challenge isn't physical, it's emotional. After years of caregiving, grief, or life lived in quiet routines, the idea of being seen, truly seen, can feel vulnerable. Maybe your body has changed. Maybe your confidence isn't what it once was. You look in the mirror and wonder if anyone would even want this version of you. But let me say this as clearly as I can, you are still worthy of love. Of pleasure. Of being held. The lines on your face? They're not flaws, they're stories. The softness of your body? It's not shameful, it's earned. And if desire is still there, that means there's still fire in you, not something to hide, but something to honor. You don't need to fit someone else's idea of sexy. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to listen to your own body, your own heart, and trust that if the longing is there, it deserves respect. Now, what if you're watching this and thinking, I've lost my desire completely, is something wrong with me? The answer? No. Not at all. Desire is different for everyone. It ebbs and flows. For some, it fades entirely. And that's just as valid. But for others, when the mind quiets, when stress lifts, and when shame is removed, the spark returns. Sometimes slowly. Sometimes in surprising ways. It could be sparked by a scent, a song, a memory, a gentle moment with someone you trust. The key is, don't judge it. Don't rush it. Just notice it. And know that whatever shows up, or doesn't, is okay. So if you've ever whispered to yourself, is it weird that I still want this? Let me answer it loudly for you. No. It's not weird. It's human. And it's beautiful. So now that we've gently peeled back the first layer, that yes, desire after 65 is real, valid, and nothing to be ashamed of, let's talk about something equally important. What you can actually do with that desire. Because once the door reopens, even just a crack, many people are left thinking, okay, but how? And it's a fair question. Maybe you've been widowed for a long time. Maybe your spouse is no longer interested. Maybe you're divorced or single and don't even know what dating looks like anymore. Or maybe you're still with your partner, but things feel distant, awkward, or disconnected. Bodies have changed. Schedules have shifted. Touch has faded into routine or silence. And now you're wondering, can we still be intimate? Is it too late to bring that part of us back? Would it be weird to ask? No, it's not too late. And no, it wouldn't be weird. What it would be is brave and beautiful. Let's begin with something foundational, talking about it. I know. For some, that's scarier than the act itself. But open, honest conversation is where healing begins. And it doesn't have to be clinical or embarrassing. It can be as simple as, I've been missing closeness lately. Or even, can we talk about how our connection has changed? You don't have to solve it in one go. You don't need a perfect speech. You just need a moment of honesty. Because behind every long silence is usually someone else waiting for permission to speak, too. One couple I spoke with, married for 45 years, hadn't been physically intimate in almost a decade. But one night, sitting on the porch, she looked over and said, I still think about kissing you sometimes. He looked stunned, then smiled and said, me too. That was the beginning. Just that. A sentence. A soft opening. And if you're single, that same honesty still applies, but this time, with yourself. Ask gently, what do I need? What kind of connection do I crave? Is it physical touch? Emotional closeness? A sense of being wanted? These answers matter, not to label yourself, but to guide your next step. Because when you know what your heart is asking for, it's easier to walk toward it. Now let's talk about the physical side, because desire and ability don't always show up together. And that's okay. Yes, bodies age. Hormones decline. But with the right support and a little creativity, intimacy doesn't have to disappear. It just looks different. For women, changes in estrogen can lead to dryness or discomfort, making sex less appealing or even painful. That's not shameful. It's natural. And it's treatable. Lubricants, vaginal moisturizers, even low-dose estrogen therapy, if approved by your doctor, can make a massive difference. For men, erectile changes are common, but not the end of the road. Medications, pumps, or even shifting the focus of sex itself away from penetration and more toward pleasure, connection, and comfort can redefine what satisfying intimacy looks like. You know what one man in his 70s told me after years of struggling with performance anxiety? I finally realized, we don't have to have the kind of sex I thought we were supposed to. We just have to enjoy each other. And that changed everything. That's what no one tells you when you're younger. Sex can actually get better with age, not because of what your body can do, but because of what your heart understands. You're not rushing. You're not proving anything. You're just being present, and that presence, That's the most powerful aphrodisiac there is. Of course, this also brings us to solo intimacy, because for many, especially those living alone, self-pleasure is part of their reality. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that either. Masturbation is natural, healthy, and can actually help improve sleep, reduce stress, and maintain circulation and sensitivity. There is zero shame in giving yourself what your body is quietly asking for. And yet, so many seniors grew up in an era where this topic was taboo, where even talking about the body's needs felt off limits. But let's be honest, you've made it this far. You've lived through wars, recessions, family heartbreaks, technology revolutions. Surely you can live through a conversation about healthy pleasure. So if you feel disconnected from your body, whether it's because of grief, illness, aging, or shame, start slow. A warm bath. Gentle touch. Breathing deeply into places you've ignored for years. Reacquaint yourself not with what your body used to be, but with what it is now. Because the goal isn't to chase youth. The goal is to stay alive to yourself. To feel. To connect. To return to the parts of you that still long to be seen and held. And whether that's with a partner, or with yourself, or simply in the quiet acknowledgement of your own longing, it matters. You matter. Your desire doesn't make you broken. It makes you beautifully human. Let's talk about something that quietly holds so many people back, not the body, not the partner, not even hormones, but judgment. The moment you admit, even to yourself, that you still crave connection, touch, or sex, especially after 65, there's often another voice right behind it. What will people think? And I want to say this as clearly as I can. Other people's discomfort is not your burden to carry. You are not embarrassing. You are not inappropriate. You are not too old for that. You are alive. And aliveness doesn't stop just because someone else doesn't understand it. Maybe you're worried about what your kids would say if they knew you were dating again. Or that neighbor who gives you a funny look because your new companion stays over on weekends. Or even just the voice inside you, the one that was trained long ago to associate aging with invisibility. But here's the thing, that voice isn't telling the truth. Because the truth is, intimacy is ageless. Desire is ageless. And you have nothing to apologize for. If anything, you should be proud that after all these years, all the roles you've played, all the battles you've fought, parent, worker, caregiver, survivor, there's still something inside you that wants to be touched, seen, desired, and loved. That's not weakness. That's strength. And if someone else can't understand that, that's okay. Let them sit with their own discomfort. Because you don't owe anyone your silence just to make them feel more comfortable. You owe yourself the freedom to be whole, body, heart, and soul. Now maybe you're still hesitant. Maybe you're thinking, it's been too long. Or, I wouldn't even know how to begin. Let me remind you, you don't need to have all the answers to take the first step. Sometimes that first step is just curiosity. Sometimes it's simply saying, I miss being held. Sometimes it's allowing yourself to feel, without shame, without judgment, and letting that be enough. And if you're in a relationship where desire still lives but connection feels distant, don't give up. There's still room to rediscover each other. Start small. Sit a little closer. Touch a little longer. Laugh a little more. The path back to intimacy doesn't require candles and music, just willingness. Just tenderness. Just a conversation that starts with, I miss this part of us. If you're single, let this be your permission to look again, if that's what you want. There are people out there, just like you, who are craving companionship, warmth, and maybe even passion, but are just as unsure where to start. And even if you never pursue a relationship again, that doesn't make your desire less real. It just means your intimacy may take other forms, emotional closeness, deep friendships, or even a richer relationship with your own body. The bottom line is this, there is no one right way to be sexual, sensual, or connected in your later years. You get to define what this chapter looks like. You get to choose what makes your heart beat a little faster. You get to rewrite the story you were told about what aging should feel like. Because aging isn't about becoming less. It's about becoming more honest, more present, more in touch with what really matters. And if sex, connection, or touch is still a part of what matters to you, claim it. Own it. Celebrate it. You've earned the right to live fully, to feel deeply, to love boldly, to want without shame, and to say, without apology, I'm still here. I still feel. I still want. And that's okay. So whether you're watching this with a tear in your eye, a smile on your face, or a knot in your stomach, know this. You are not broken. You are not alone. And your story, whatever it looks like, still matters. If this video spoke to you, please don't stay silent. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let others know they're not the only ones carrying these feelings. Let's create a space where aging isn't something to hide, but something to live out loud. And if you want more content like this, honest, heart-centered, and unafraid to talk about the things that really matter after 60, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your voice helps others find theirs. Here's to you, to your fire, your tenderness, your courage, and your joy. Here's to sex after 65, not as a joke, not as a punchline, but as a beautiful, valid part of being fully alive.